For cheap D2R items, visit aoeah.com. You get 3% off with the code ARIAD. Check the link in the description. Hello and welcome everybody. I promised you more budget builds for the later start. In this special, I present to you my personal top 5 builds for different classes to start at the beginning of the season. I show you the skill trees, the items and the stats with empty inventory, so you can directly see which charms you need to improve your resistances. I also included as many magic finds as possible without losing too much stability or performance. In addition, there are also farming recommendations for each build to progress quickly. Let's go! We start with the Paladin. There are two popular builds, the Hamadin or the FOH. In the end, we can play both builds with the same gear. I prefer the FOH because it is so much more comfortable to play, especially as long as you can't teleport yet. The gear: double spirit for skills and cast rate, Viper skin with a topaz for skills, cast rate, resistances and magic find, Rock stopper for resistances and damage reduction, also socketed with a topaz, an amulet with +3 to combat skills, triangles for more cast rate, Disciple belt and Aldor's shoes for resists, and for breaking the 125 breakpoint also an FCR ring, and a Nuggle ring for more MF. In the change hand, nice staff for teleporting. The build already has maximum fire and cold resistance. With lightning and poison you would have to add charms. In addition, we also have up to 78 magic find, depending on how high the Nuggle ring is rolled. The holy bolts have up to 4000 damage at maximum cast rate. The top farming area for an FOH Paladin is the Chaos Sanctuary. With the staff we also get there very quickly. It is also good that we have maximum fire resistance. You can also get resistances by Salvation Aura, but it is inconvenient to be dependent on it. It is so much better to have the Redemption Aura as standard, so you heal mana and life points by consuming corpses. There are many other good spots to farm as well. The pit also has only undeads and demons, and it is a T85 area. The tower is also no problem, just like the Arcane Sanctuary. Besides Diablo, you can also run Andariel. The only animals that can appear there are spiders. Travinkal is also quite easy for a budget build. Mephisto basically works too, but the way through the Durance of Fate is ugly without teleport. In Act 5, Pindle is a nice farming spot. But whoever loves to farm the cow level rather plays a Hamadin, because there the FOH is useless. Next we have the Necromancer. As a starting character quite unpopular, but this has the advantage that the items for him are quite cheap, especially the torch later on. In addition, we can play a poison necro very easily, which can even farm quite a few areas because he has both poison and fire damage. We use 3 parts from the Triangule set: gloves, armor and shield, so we also get some extra poison damage and lower the monster's resistances. Further, a lore helmet and a +3 skill amulet, belts and shoes from the Immortal King set for resistances and magic find, black box for Poison Nova levels or alternatively a Spirit Sword, and one ring is also a Nagel ring. In the other slot we can push the missing resistance. In the change hand the Gull and the Rhyme Shield, so we can get a boost of 125% magic find when changing weapons. So the Necro can poison the monsters and then just switch weapons. It counts how much magic find the character has at the time of the kill, not at the time of casting. By the way, a handy companion for all characters is an Insight Mercenary. Here you can see the stats. Since the Necro doesn't have much life, you have to play very carefully and dodge a lot. The poison damage has the disadvantage that it works slowly. The nice thing, with this playstyle you can use the MF switch and so the Necro really gets a good bonus. For the Poison Necro, the tower is a good spot and also the secret cow level works fine, thanks to Cadaver Explosion. The Arcane Sanctuary is also okay. In Act 5 you can farm Shank and Eldritch, but in principle you can also run many more maps and preferably terror zones, because poison immune monsters can also be killed with the fire damage of Cadaver Explosion, and the curse lower resistances can even break immunities. The Assassin has become a very popular starting character, because once you have double Mosaic there are no limits, and the rune word is not even that expensive. For farming the resources, a lightning trapzin is great. Thanks to the firebomb, it also has some alternative damage against light immune monsters. The equipment, Spirit Sword and Leadless Wall, so you save strength points compared to double spirit, Treasury for skills and fate, a lore helmet and a +3 to traps amulet, Disciple belt and gloves, just as Natalia's shoes for resistances, +2 Nagel rings. In the change hand either Gull and Rhyme or the teleport staff. In principle you can choose one of these two possibilities with each build. The Assassin only has magic find from the two rings, a boost would not hurt here. But to get Mosaic quickly it's best to farm runes anyway. So you run the tower hoping for good rune drops. The low runes can be cubed up. The cow level should also work as soon as you have sufficient damage. It is also great for farming runes and your claw bases. Pindle, Eldritch and Shank are also easy, just like all the usual spots for lightning builds. And of course the Arcane Sanctuary. There you can also find some super chests. Keep the mentioned farming areas in mind, because they are also interesting for the Amazon. The build is of course a Javazon. Looking at the gear, Titans are probably the most important. If you're lucky, you can already find them at Bale on normal. Fun fact on the side, perfect ethereal Titans are probably the most expensive item that can possibly drop on normal. In addition, we go for the complete Disciple set, which is quite awesome here. We get skills, resistances and many other boosts. Most rare is the amulet, and even this you will get very cheap. Hardly anyone uses it. In addition, a Valkyrie wing, spirit and 2 Nagel for magic find. As with the other characters, I used low runes like Ort or Ral for further improve the resistances. Thanks to the set bonus, they look fine. Unfortunately, we don't have many magic find. As mentioned, the build can farm all the usual spots for lightning characters, but the true potential unfolds in the cow level. So whoever likes to farm their best builds a Javazon. The most popular starting class is of course the Sorceress, Thanks to teleports, she offers a big advantage. She can complete boss runs very fast. My recommendation is a lightning firewall build, as long as you have no thunder charms and stuff to play a mono build yet. The firewall only should handle light immune monsters. For that case it is sufficient to maximize it without synergies or mastery. The sorceress wears mask, belt and orb from the Talrasha set, viper skin, spirit, a +2 to Sorc skill amulet, as well as mage fist, aldurs and 2 nagel rings. Since lightning resistance was missing, I also socketed Ord runes again. Here you can see the stats. The sorceress is of course a glass cannon. With about 1000 life we have to pay attention. The resistances are weaker compared to the other builds, but the most important are okay, lightning and fire. In addition we get up to 140 magic find. The Sorc can also farm the usual lightning spots, but that's not what we made her for. Thanks to teleport, boss runs are done very quickly. Both Andariel and Mephisto can be farmed very easy. This would probably also work great with a Fireball Sorc as well as with a pure Lightning Sorc, when you just concentrate on the bosses. But with the hybrid Sorc we can also do much more. Even a Hell Rush shouldn't be too hard. The season starts on Thursday evening, and of course I wish you a good start. In the description I have linked some further useful videos. See you soon, take care, and may the loot be with you.
Come on. Follow me.